Happy for our guys. It's been a rough few weeks here, but this league does that to you at times, and the key is how you respond. And our guys haven't hung their heads, gotten down, listened to the outside noise, and not listened to the outside noise, which is good. And keep trying to get better. I thought our first half was really good tonight. We were aggressive. We got some stuff in transition. We got the ball in the paint. And I didn't think Ohio State would. I thought we'd get a thrust back in the second half, which we did, and we didn't obviously execute well down the stretch the last 7 minutes. But the good part is we're in a position where we can learn from it, and whether it's making free throws or getting better shots down the stretch. But like I said, just overall happy for the guys because they've had to endure a lot and continue to work and give us their best every day. Questions?
Greg, the way Stephen played in the first half especially, it had to be nice to see for you after Saturday. Didn't get a lot of looks in the paint. It seemed to make that an emphasis in the early going tonight. Was that from you or was that more from him?
Both. I mean, credit goes to Steve for playing aggressive and commanding the ball and finishing plays. And I was thought about even getting him more breaks, but he was playing so well. I was like, why am I going to take him out? Knowing that we had a lot of games left to play. So I thought Carter Gilmore too really gave us a lot of energy, played aggressive, was on the floor, rebounds, those things. He brought some of that spark that he had been bringing earlier in the league season. Jeff?
Greg, was this a game where in certain spurts you had different guys giving you either a big shot or a big draw and charge or whatever it was at key times, and it was kind of hold them off at least till that final stretch?
Yeah, I mean we made Tyler's charge right in front of me in the first half was big. Max's charge coming out of the timeout, that was a huge play and again a play by a more experienced guard. That those are the things he gives us. So I think we had different guys make plays at different times. That the group has been and continues to be very connected and together, and just tell by how they talk and what the huddles are like. And it was, like I said, good to see them get back to how they can be more consistently and have some fun with it.
What was your plan for sense of ball, and what's your assessment of how you carried it out?
Well, the first couple of possessions we didn't guard him too well. I mean, he got loose. We dug too far on a three or on the post off of him once. Made a tough shot in front of the bench. And a little turnaround, which he has the capability of getting his own shot at any time. He's really a talented player. Really impressed with him on tape and obviously his size, seeing him in person. He's a terrific player, and fortunately we got him in some foul trouble. It was better when we could defend him better when he was sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Greg, you mentioned like your team hanging in with each other despite losing 6 of 7 coming into this. What does it take in this league to do that?
You have to have a connected group. I think you have to have a group that doesn't. I mentioned earlier about the outside noise, and everybody goes through it. And Ohio State's gone through the rough patches, and they started with some injuries and got them off track. And we kind of faced the same thing. We're just trying to get back to, and it's hard to just plug and play guys. It doesn't work like that when you got a rhythm going and some continuity going. You got your experienced guys on the floor for the most part, and then when you lose that, it doesn't just automatically reset to where it was when the guys come back. So I think just staying the course, and I have a thing in my office on my wall that says trust the process, and it's got some other stuff underneath it, but really it sounds coach cliche, but you have to trust what you're doing day in and day out, the people around you, your work that you put in for the past 10, 12 months prior to this season. All those things come in, and you got teammates around you that support you and hold you accountable, but also pick you up and keep you connected together.
Jeff, you want to go?
Greg, yeah, I think it's clear Tyler hasn't been the same since hurting that ankle.
Right.
But you got Crowell going tonight. Is the next thing to try to find a way to get Tyler more comfortable? And
Yeah, he's got to
consistent?
slow down. I mean, I think he's trying to make up for lost time at times, where he's and all of a sudden get 3 games missed back in 2 possessions. So for him, and that's he plays with such a high burning motor that it makes him really good, but it also at times gets him going too fast, and something that he just has to continue to work on, slowing down and letting the game come to him, and relaxing, specifically at the free throw line. He's much better than how he shot the ball from the free throw line, because he was in the 70s earlier in the year. Just needs to relax and know that he's got teammates around him to help him out.
The free throws at the end, obviously you would like a couple more to go in there, but also the ones Connor had at the end of the first half, the 4
Off the technicals.
technical ones. You know, when you're not, you know, hitting those repeatedly, like has been going on the last few games, to get a string of those going, and then in a close game at the end to see a couple of them has to be big for you guys.
Yeah, I mean Chucky getting there. You know, Connor, I mean, it's a surprise when he misses one. So that's when that happened. That's a guy I was going to send with that many free throws at the line. I think the odds were pretty good that he'd find a way to knock at least 3 of the 4 down. So yeah, I mean, we got to get there is one thing. I mean, 22 times is good to get there. You got to convert, especially the last 7 minutes. That's not textbook in terms of how we executed down the stretch in terms of the shots, and then we do get fouled. You got to convert at the line.
So officials have the option now of calling a flop in the low post, and I wonder if your assessment of that at this point of the season has that made it clearer to you and to your guys what is allowed in the low post and what is not?
Nothing's clear. I mean, and the officials have a really hard job. You know, we put in so many addendums and points of emphasis, it like keeps going down the list. We haven't made it easier on the officials in terms of what do they want call, or what are they going to call, what they tell us about. I mean, even there was a point in time earlier in the year when my players were coming to me going, "Coach, what are we supposed to do?" Because you know, this is on one end, they tell us A, they call B. I mean, it's so hard because the game is fast and physical, and like I said, I've always been a fan of just call it as you see it. Don't write 10 different addendums to the rule and give the officials more things to have to worry about and think about, because it seems like every year we're adding on to, and whatever we were worried about 12 months ago, now we're not talking about. So, like I said, first and foremost, they've got a hard job, and like I said, it's easy from the sideline to when you can watch replays, and you know, I've never missed a call from the sideline. At least that's what I tell the officials. But it's hard because it's like I said, they've got so many points of emphasis in that we need to just call the game, and hopefully our league, I think, is doing a better job of educating and training and helping guys get better, but it's going to be a longer process.
Greg, back to Wall for a second. When he's not shooting well, which I'm sure you still want to go to him at key stretches, how do you balance whether, because you had a couple sequences where you tried to post guys up late during that stretch, and the shots just weren't.
Those couple, I mean, kick those out. I mean, those don't have to force things when we don't get exactly what we want. I mean, the post is always as you've heard me call it many times, a playmaking position. Doesn't mean you have to shoot it from there, but it's a position where Tyler's a good decision maker and passer, and you have pressure at the rim, so that gets the defense's attention. But then if you don't have something you like, that's fine. Or if there's a crowd in there, that means somebody's open somewhere. So that's stuff we'll continue to help him with.
Greg, when you look at the stat sheet, what do you see as the difference in a game like this? When it's a tight game, Big Ten, middle of the season, what separates teams in a game like this?
I think just staying the course, playing every possession out. We were able to, our first 32 minutes were pretty good. Our last 7 or 8, need to be better. So you're going to have stretches just like a season. You're going to go through highs and lows, and try to make sure the highs don't take you to a place that you don't need to be, and you have to make sure the lows, don't let you hit rock bottom. And the same thing within a game. Things weren't going well in the last 6-7 minutes in those timeouts. Let's make sure we get stops on the other end, no second shots, and get good shots. And as I look through the tape, we'll probably find that we didn't get as good a shots as had gotten earlier in the game.
Okay.
Think good? All right.
Thanks, Coach.